It's the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack Podcast. You know, on Saturdays, we play fun music and we feature great information at 993thevine.com with me, Big Rick Stewart, and music from my time at Live 105 and at KFOG. We also mix in some stories that I find kind of interesting, whether it's local music or food or tech or just kind of some cool things I think you ought to know about. It's always lots of fun. Fun music and great information happens every Saturday at 993thevine.com. And the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack Podcast features great information like this. It's the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack, fun music and great information with me, Big Rick Stewart. Dolly Parton. Dolly Parton has done what many thought would never be done. She's reunited the Beatles. Okay, well, the Beatles that are still around with us. This is from consequence.net and other sources as well, covering the same story. The track list for Dolly Parton's rock album is a sight to behold. All right, hold on. Let's flash back really quickly. Dolly Parton gets nominated for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but she says, no, I don't want to be nominated because I'm not a rock and roller. Put somebody else in my place that deserves it. And the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame said, no, sorry, we're going to nominate you. And then she got in. She said, okay, now that I'm in, I have to make a rock and roll album. Here it comes. It's going to be coming out pretty soon. It's got an incredible lineup and some amazing songs. It has 30 tracks. It's going to arrive on November 17th. The guest stars on the Dolly Parton Rockstar are true rock stars. She has Sting on Every Breath You Take, Steve Perry from Journey singing Open Arms with her, Steve Tyler of Aerosmith makes an appearance, Dolly does a version of Purple Rain, I gotta hear that one. She does Wrecking Ball with Miley Cyrus, Pink and Brandi Carlile, and Dolly Parton all together on the Stones' Satisfaction. You know that's gonna be great. Elton John and Dolly Parton, Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me, and Let It Be with Dolly Parton and her guests Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr, and special guests Peter Frampton and Mick Fleetwood. She also does a version of Freebird, and okay, well, the list goes on and on. Can't wait for the release later this year in November. Look for Rockstar with Rockstars and Dolly Parton. I'm Big Rick Stewart. It's the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack at 993thevine.com. It's the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack, fun music and great information with me, Big Rick Stewart. Thanks for hanging out on this Saturday. We welcome back to town a chef who is going to take over this spot in Yountville that's been sitting vacant for a while. Headline, Napa Valley's Summerston Estate to launch the kitchen at Priest Ranch with executive chef Daniel Solomon. And Chef Daniel Solomon previously worked in Napa at La Toque and went on to do some other things. Now, what's his connection to Yountville? Okay, the Priest Ranch Tasting Room, right? Really awesome place and some really great wines. Right next door, there was a little restaurant, just a little tiny place, closed a while back, and it's been closed for a while with a sign on the door that says, coming soon. Well, guess what? Now we have a little bit more information because the folks at Priest Ranch, which is part of Summerston, are opening up the kitchen at Priest Ranch right there on the main drag in Yountville. What are they going to have as far as food and stuff? I really don't know. It's not a big kitchen, but they do have a lot of space there. They have a patio and a little upstairs and more. So who knows what we're going to see. If you want to get more information, the kitchen at ATPR, the kitchen ATPR, and also that is their Instagram handle as well. They'll be having some updates there, and they say opening soon, like really. So we'll have to see. There are some great wines over at Priest Ranch. Happy to see this spot open for some food. Can't wait to see what the menu's like and give it a try as soon as possible. All right, thanks for hanging out with me today. It's the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack, fun music and great information right here at 993thevine.com. It's the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack, fun music and great information here at 993thevine.com. I'm Big Rick Stewart. I went to the movies, saw a movie. I'm going to tell you about it just a little bit. No spoilers, though. Though it's kind of hard to tell you the story about this movie without spoilers. Okay, the movie is Big George Foreman, or alternate title, Big George Foreman, the miraculous story of the once and future heavyweight champion of the world. Yes, the George Foreman grill guy, that guy, the big, happy, silly, jolly guy that everybody loves. All right, well, it's his story. Growing up in the rough part of Houston, there's a Bay Area connection. I'm not going to tell you what it is. He ended up being a boxer, but kind of like an angry guy, but very successful, very good at what he did. later, like faith became a really big part of his life. And for various reasons, he went back to boxing, but with a totally different attitude and approach and more. And it's a really inspiring, uplifting movie. Definitely, you could take the kids to see this, or when it streams, you could gather all the kids around. I think there's lots of good lessons for adults and kids in this movie. And he's just a really interesting, lovable kind of guy. I really, really like this movie. It was great. The critics, they're kind of so-so on it. I think critics like sad disaster movies, about people, but this one is not. This one's super uplifting and super awesome about a really great guy. And yeah, there's a definite Bay Area connection. If you didn't know about it, well, you'll find out all about George Foreman, the guy behind the Foreman Grill and much more. Yeah, he made some money off of that. Don't worry about it. Big George Foreman, check it out if it's in the theaters or look for it streaming near you. I'm Big Rick Stewart. It's the Wine Country Saturday soundtrack. Fun music and great information every Saturday here at 993thevine.com. Hey, I'm Big Rick Stewart. It's the Wine Country Saturday soundtrack. Fun music and great information. This one is for all you Starbucks fans looking for a little something new. Have you tried that Starbucks olive oil in the coffee kind of thing going on? It's all right. I mean, I like olive oil and I like coffee. I don't know about both of them together or not. All right, so for the hot summer coming up, this is from the New York Post. Starbucks is getting caffeinated for a white hot summer, they say. They announced recently they have 2 new drinks for their nationwide summer menu. This is a report from the National Restaurant News, so I mean, that sounds official. One of the refreshing treats Starbucks is now selling is a white chocolate macadamia cream cold brew. Depending on the size, it can be 170 or 330 calories, made with their own cold brew and, all the other stuff that they add into it. Okay. The second option is a chocolate Java mint frappuccino. Could have 340 calories, could have 600 calories. They say coffee and flavors of sweet chocolate and refreshing mint blended with rich frappuccino chips for a smooth treat finished with a layer of mocha sauce. Oh my God. Or I guess you could go have a milkshake. I don't know. All right, so there's a couple new things to try at Starbucks. Olive oil on the side, maybe? I don't know. That's your call. I'm Big Rick Stewart. It's the Wine Country Saturday soundtrack. Fun music and great information right here at 993thevine.com. Hey, it's the Wine Country Saturday soundtrack. I'm Big Rick Stewart. Thanks for hanging out with me today. It's where we hang out and have fun music and great information. Here's some information for you content creators. Just for your job, maybe, or just for your fun and your social media. If you're trying to make some videos for TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram, YouTube, I don't know, Facebook, maybe just for friends or whatever. There's a free app, but it's only for iPhones, just so you know that. But if you have an iPhone, check out Rode Capture. RODE, Rode Capture. They make microphones, but now they have an app as well for video for your camera on your phone, actually for both cameras. Now, if you have one of their microphones, you can do things like, adjust lots of different settings. If you're in a noisy environment, if you want to have something a little louder, whatever, there's a ton of different adjustments for that. But also lots of different adjustments for the video on your phone. And you're thinking, I already can do some of this stuff. Okay, yeah, but this is really good. And it's free, and that's just amazing. You can use both cameras, so the selfie camera and the other main camera. You can have picture-in-picture video recorded. You can have video that is equal sized, right? You can also record each video stream, the selfie stream and the other one, as its own video. So you can edit those together later on if you're getting really deep into all this. Frame rates go from 24 to 60 frames per second. Resolution goes from 720, 1280 all the way up to 2160 by 3840. That's a big deal when you start editing things. There's just a ton of different adjustments and things to do. And plus, like I said, it's free. Gotta love it. If you have a Rode microphone, it works even better. I don't have one, but I've been playing around with the video part of this. It's pretty awesome. It's for iPhones. It's called Rode Capture. All you content creators, get out there and create some content. I'm Big Rick Stewart. It's the Wine Country Saturday soundtrack. Fun music and great information right here at 993thevine.com. It's the Wine Country Saturday soundtrack. Fun music and great information here at 993thevine.com. All right, I saw this story and I thought, hey, I know about this guy. You might know about him as well, but maybe you didn't know that he's from Dixon, California, just over the hill. If you go over up to like Sacramento and you go from Napa and you go through Dixon, like blink, done. There's like a fruit produce stand, and then there's not a whole lot of other things there. But it's a really cool place. I actually really like going to the Dixon area. It's a little before Davis, just so you know. All right, so the guy we're talking about is named Jonathan Ryan Pardee. His official name in his entertainment world is John Pardee. He grew up in Dixon, went to Dixon High School, graduated in 2003. Now he lives in Nashville, where he's a pretty successful musician. You might have heard some of his songs. He's had lots of big hits out there, including Dirt on My Boots and more. All right, so John Pardee is at the Stagecoach Festival, which is the festival that happens at the same place Coachella happens. It's just the 2 weeks after the 2 weeks of Coachella. It's a pretty good month to be hanging out in Palm Springs, right? So he's on stage, and as he's on stage, he gets invited to be a member. This is a big deal, of the Grand Old Opry. I mean, with some of the legendary names of country music. It's very exclusive. You have to kind of be invited by a member and voted in and all this deal like that. So John Pardee, of course, he's like, yeah, I'm going to do that. So he was in high school in Dixon. He leaves, he goes to Nashville, has had a pretty good career, and now one of our locals is an official member of the Grand Old Opry in Nashville, Tennessee. Well, that's pretty cool. I like local success stories, and there's one of them for you right now. Good job, John. Hey, it's the Wine Country Saturday soundtrack. Fun music and great information right here at 993thevine.com. It's the Wine Country Saturday soundtrack, fun music and great information with me, Big Rick Stewart. Saw this story at the Hollywood Reporter. See, I read all these things. I'm trying to look for good stuff for you. Fernando Valenzuela TV series in the works. This is from the Hollywood Reporter. The first line of the story is, Fernando Mania is coming back. Now, if you're an auto race Formula One fan, you might think of Fernando Alonso. No, this goes way back. This goes way, way back to the 80s. The guy who played for the Dodgers. So, okay, I know Giants fans, you didn't like him back then, but you kind of got to love his story, right? And I'm so looking forward to this. There was Fernando Mania, and it was a really big deal. I mean, especially, of course, Dodgers fans, but kind of everybody came on board because you kind of had to root for this guy. The producers described this limited TV series as the first time Fernando Valenzuela has ever told his stories. It'll follow the legendary Dodgers pitcher from this time playing on dirt fields in rural Mexico to winning the World Series in 1981 and changing baseball forever. He got into Major League Baseball in 1981. He won his first 8 games, and his earned run average was 0.5. How about that? His rookie year, he was the Rookie of the Year and also the Cy Young Award winner, the first player to ever do that, and won the World Series, and it was just a big deal. He was kind of like a total underdog, and he came through, and everybody loved him, and so we're going to love him even more. Fernando's involved in the project. He says, I am honored to be able to tell my story, my experiences in my own words. This is going to be a great story. Don't know quite exactly where it's going to be shown yet. They didn't announce a streaming partner for it, but we know that it will be somewhere, sometime, the story of Fernando Valenzuela. Break out those Wheaties boxes. That was a big deal. I had a friend of mine in college that collected them. He was a Dodger fan, what can I say? I'm Big Rick Stewart. It's the Wine Country Saturday soundtrack. Fun music and great information right here at 993thevine.com. Well, those are some stories that I have featured on the Wine Country Saturday soundtrack. Tune in at 8 a.m. every Saturday at 993thevine.com. I'm Big Rick Stewart here. Music from my days at Live 105 and KFOG, some current songs, lots of surprises and more. It's always lots of fun. We have a 10 at 10, a Beatles Brunch at noon. It happens all day. The Wine Country Saturday soundtrack and the Wine Country Saturday soundtrack podcast. Tell your friends, and thanks for listening to this podcast, and thanks for checking out 993thevine.com.